SKOL Vikings, let's win this game.
Vikings fans, the day is getting wild with the latest news. The NFL just punished a rival for a dirty play on a team star. There is also internal locker room pressure to keep a key piece because a big-name team is already circling and trying to swoop in. And on the other side of the border, a new name just popped up as a potential signing. But that last story, it hits different. Real quick, let me say something to you. Subscribe to the channel and drop a comment with what you think the team has improved and what still needs fixing. Look, this kind of stuff always gets to me, because when the league finally acts, it is usually late or it is the wrong call. This time at least, there was some justice. On a play that was already dead, with everything stopped, our running back got yanked off the pile in a totally unnecessary way. If you watched it live, you felt it instantly. That was not football, that was cheap nonsense. And the NFL acknowledged it later. It took a minute, but they acknowledged it. The opponent got fined for aggressive conduct. The number is not outrageous, but the message is there. You cannot be ripping guys off a pile after the officials have whistled it dead, especially not someone who has been taking a beating all season. Our offensive jersey was furious right there in the moment, and he was right to be. That kind of move has brought bigger discipline in the past, so if we are being real, it could have been heavier this time too. The biggest thing is he came out fine. He stayed in the game. The drive ended in points. And at the end of it, we got the win. It was a grind. It was tight, but it was a win. That changes how you read the whole moment. If an injury happens there, today's conversation is totally different. This fan base in purple and gold knows that. We have seen that bad movie way too many times. What bugs me is the pattern. If it is a quarterback, the league sprints in. Bigger fines, stronger statements. If it is a running back, it always feels negotiable, like it is fine until somebody gets seriously hurt. The people who live and breathe Vikings football every day notice those differences. That is not paranoia. That is history. And that is why this kind of discipline, even if it is smaller, has to be remembered. And there is another layer to it. Our veteran on offense is not a kid anymore. He is on the other side of 30. He has been dealing with injuries. He has been asked to take a pounding like few players do. Every cheap shot like that weighs on future decisions, not just from the league, but from the team too. Stuff like this speeds up conversations nobody wants to have, about contracts, about continuity, about succession. There are new guys on the roster. There are bets already made. But leadership is not easy to replace. The locker room feels it. The crowd feels it. That is why this play is not just a fine on paper. It connects to where this team is right now. It connects to the cap. It connects to what is coming next. You only get this kind of stands-level Vikings read right here, no polish, the same way we talk about it among ourselves. I want to know what you thought about that play. Was the punishment fair, or did they let it slide? Talk to me in the comments, and hang with me, because the next story turns up the heat inside the building even more. You know what makes me proud of this team, even in a sideways year? The defense has an identity, and it has a name, Brian Flores. You look at what has happened these last few games, and you get why the talk of somebody is going to try to pull him out of Minnesota is roaring back. That hit job on Detroit on national TV, and the defense forced turnovers like it was practice. 6 times the ball changed hands. I even laughed by myself, I am not going to lie. It looked like a video game, and the offense did not even have to carry the whole thing. There was a game where our quarterback barely threw the ball downfield. Still, the defense held the line and paved the way to a win. That is exactly the kind of vibe Defend the North is built on. And when the league sees that, the head coach chatter starts. Flores has been a hot name before, but right now, he has more juice than ever. The team has stacked wins. The record can say 8-8, but the moment feels different. And his contract is running out. It ends after this season. That means he gets to choose where he goes next. The locker room sees it too, and our top corner did not stay quiet. Byron Murphy basically said he cannot leave. It sounded like an order. He said Flores is one of the smartest scheme guys he has ever been around. That is a player demanding continuity, not a cute quote, a message. And there is some behind-the-scenes smoke too. The word is the team tried to extend Flores before the season. He chose to wait. He bet on himself. So if we are being real, that bet is cashing in big time. Now the price goes up. And it is not just money, it is leverage. If he wants the head coach chair, there will be a line. Here is the thing. Keeping a defensive brain like this might matter more than chasing some trendy name somewhere else, because this scheme turns regular dudes into problems for offenses. You see guys pop. You see pressure come from places you do not expect. And that changes games. This fan base in purple and gold feels it when the defense plays with that right kind of edge. But there is a shadow over the conversation. Flores still carries that heavy fight with the league and with certain teams. some franchises might hesitate. Even so, the list of possible openings is big, and if it is not a head coach job, he could become the highest paid defensive coordinator on the planet. That is the part that makes your stomach drop. I sit here thinking, man, are they really going to let this slip away? Because when a player says, do not let him leave, it is because he already smells offers. And when the team is working toward an extension, it is because they see the risk too. I do not want to wake up one day and read that he is drawing up blitzes in another city. No chance. Hold that thought, because the next story has an NFC rival that is truly in the mix for Flores, and that is where it gets way more tense. Here is the part that makes you uneasy, because it is not just maybe he becomes a head coach. There are teams thinking about pulling Flores as a defensive coordinator, straight lateral, right in your face. And the name that is popping up is the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, them. The buzz is Dallas is watching and waiting for the right moment. Their defense has been a mess this season, and when that happens, the coordinator is usually the first one out. If the Cowboys open the checkbook, it becomes the kind of fight we all know. A rich owner, a massive brand, media everywhere. And our front office has to decide fast whether they are going to battle or whether they are going to take the loss. What gets me is this. Flores is not just another guy. His scheme is aggressive. It confuses quarterbacks. It changes games with disguised pressure. And it turns players nobody was talking about into Sunday problems. You see a dude from the back of the rotation show up out of nowhere. You see an opposing offense miss reads. And the people who lives and breathes Vikings football for real can feel when the defense is sending a message. There are numbers that back it up, but I do not even need to go there. Just remember what happened on the big stage against one of the best teams in the conference. The defense took over. The ball came back to us over and over. There were snaps where their quarterback looked like he was seeing ghosts. And when you put on that kind of show, the phone rings. That is how this league works. And here is the cold part. If it is a lateral move, it is not a promotion to head coach. It is just someone trying to steal the brain next door. That means the Vikings have to put a heavy contract on the table. And it is not only money, it is respect. It is structure. It is making him feel like he can run his world here. Because if he becomes the highest paid defensive coordinator somewhere else, it hurts the same. I can already picture the bleacher debate. Half the fans in purple and gold yelling, pay him, pay whatever it takes. The other half scared of becoming hostage to one guy. I get both sides. But I also know this. Losing a coordinator like that changes your team the next day. It is not a simple adjustment, and the calendar does not wait. So stay with me to the end of the video, because that last story has a goodbye kind of vibe that hits you. And before that, I want to hear you. If the Cowboys roll up with a dump truck of money, what do? Extend him right now or let him walk? Tell me in the comments, because I want to see where the fan temperature is. And keep that tension, because the next story swings from defense to offense, and a surprise name shows up that could directly mess with our quarterback future. All right, new gear, because this one is about quarterback future, and that always turns into a fire in Minnesota. We have hope in J.J. McCarthy, of course. But there is also health, development, and the fact that the NFL does not wait for anyone. And then a name shows up that nobody in Minneapolis planned on cheering for. Coming out of Green Bay, Malik Willis had one of those games, not because the Packers won, because they did not. They got crushed. But he actually played ball. Quick throws, clean decisions, live arm, and he ran like he was 23. I watched the highlights and thought, wait, since when is he this comfortable? Yeah, he became a league topic in one night. And when a backup becomes a topic like that at the end of December, you already know what happens in March. A bunch of teams start itching. Some want a bridge, some want competition. And then Minnesota gets pulled into the mix because our situation is perfect for it. A head coach who can coach quarterbacks, a cheat code target named Justin Jefferson, and a roster that, with this defense playing like it is, just needs stability on offense. The point is not Willis is the locked-in starter. Relax. The point is he could be the guy who walks in and forces everybody to raise the level. Because if JJ is recovering and still needs to stack reps, bringing in someone who has shown he can hold up in NFL games changes the conversation. It changes the staff's tone. It changes the pressure in the room. That is not mean. That is competition. And there is more. Willis is headed to unrestricted free agency. If the market heats up, he is going to ask for starter money or something close to it. Then the front office has to choose, spend to protect the position, or bet everything on the kid's growth. And the fans in purple and gold are going to split. I can already hear it. Let the kid play. No, bring in someone proven. And I am sitting right in the middle, rubbing my chin, thinking about what I have seen in 55 years of Vikings football. We have gone off a cliff before because we did not have a plan B. More than once. Now, pure Stan's reaction. I hate the idea of bringing in anybody with Packers ties, even if he was not their starter. But if he comes here and helps win games, I will swallow that pill with mustard. I really will. Another thing that matters, Green Bay likes him. They developed him. They might try to keep him. But if he sees a real chance to compete for a starting job somewhere else, he is going to want out. And Minnesota is a spotlight. With Kevin O'Connell, a quarterback can level up. Everyone in the league knows that. And to close it out, there is that read you only get from people who lives and breathes Vikings football every day. If you bring in a Malik Willis, you're also sending JJ a message. We believe in you, but nothing is free. That can speed up growth, or it can create noise. It depends on the locker room. It depends on ego. It depends on the plan. Hold that thought, because the next story is not just about a game. It is about a possible farewell, a milestone on the line, and a Sunday that might hurt more than it looks. Next Sunday, the Packers are in US Bank Stadium, and I do not buy the meaningless game talk. We might not have playoff stakes. They might rest key starters. Still, a rivalry is a rivalry, and there is real meaning here for people who lives and breathes Vikings football every day. First, it is a chance to finish strong. A month ago, we were getting punched, and it was ugly. Now we have ripped off 4 straight wins. That changes the locker room mood. That changes the story of the season. Finishing above 500 might not buy you January football, but it leaves a different taste like, see, we did not quit. Second, Justin Jefferson is chasing a mark. He is at 947 receiving yards. He needs 53 to hit 1,000. That sounds easy, but this season has been weird for him. There were games where the ball did not get there. There were games where defenses doubled him and nobody helped. If he hits 1,000, he lands in a ridiculous club. And then you think about Randy Moss and your chest swells. I want that milestone, period. Third, this defense is blazing hot. After what it just did to Detroit, I want one more performance like that. Even if Green Bay rolls out a different quarterback. Maybe even better. We want pressure, takeaways, noise. I want to see Andrew Van Ginkel and Dallas Turner flying loose. I want to see Blake Cashman everywhere. I want to see Byron Murphy Jr. locked in. And I want the stadium to turn into a nightmare. The way Defend the North is supposed to feel. I swear, I stand up off the couch when the blitz comes. Do not even pretend I am calm. Fourth, there is the part that hits you in the heart. Harrison Smith might be playing his last home Sunday. Just saying that makes me pause. The guy is a legend. 14 years of leadership and clean violence. And he is still playing at a high level. He is chasing his 40th career interception. If this is the goodbye, I want every fan in purple and gold on their feet. I want that roar coming from the top and him feeling that Minnesota will never forget. And there is still the Flores shadow. This could be his last game calling plays here. That alone makes it feel like soak it up while you can. Because if he leaves, we know the size of that hole. This defense did not become this overnight. There is a hand on it. There is a mind on it. There is courage in the calls. Now, the detail that could flip the tone of Sunday is J.J. McCarthy. His hand is the topic. If he can grip the ball, it could be the last look before a massive offseason. If he cannot, Max Brosmer gets another start. That takes some shine off, but it does not erase the meaning, because we are going to watch every snap like we are hunting for a sign of the future. In the end, this Sunday is not just about the score. It is a culture message. It is a personal milestone. It is a possible farewell. And it is a clue about what this team becomes when the dust settles. And that is when the talk gets serious. Hold up. Breathe with me, because when you put it all together, you can feel how big this is. A rival crossed the line on our running back, and the league had to respond. The locker room is pushing to keep Brian Flores, and other teams are circling to try to take him away. Then a neighbor quarterback name pops up and could shake up our future plans. And to top it off, a Vikings-Packers game that looks simple could turn into a farewell and a milestone day. I'm going to say it out loud. The year 2026 is going to start with decisions that change this franchise's direction. Drop a comment, because this space belongs to everybody who lives and breathes Vikings football. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go.